How stubbornness has made me a pacesetter. As a young person, the best way to describe me was stubborn as a mule. Little did I or my parents know that that stunt character was a necessary strength needed in the school of life. At the age of 12, while in primary school, I enrolled myself to learn carpentry and furniture making with a well-known man in our village. My parents opposed my move. My grandfather scolded me severely, but I was adamant. 5 years later, I had learnt and mastered carpentry and furniture making so much that I was earning money from it to sponsor my secondary education. That was when all the people who opposed me began to appreciate my decision. I made chairs, tables, and all manner of stools in our house. One day, my father saw me roofing a house in our village. He was dazed. The kind of stubbornness I am talking about motivates you to stick to your goals and advance in life. To me, stubbornness is another name for self-confidence, resilience, and determination. I'm stubborn. Once I start something, I want to see how far I can go. I have discovered that I'm stubborn, and I know it takes a special kind of stubbornness to succeed in life. There was an incident that boosted my self-confidence as a result of my stubbornness. Some years ago, while still in the village, our people were in a war with another local government. People were killed, houses were burnt to ashes. All young people above and below my age and women fled to the next local government as refugees. But I stubbornly refused to flee. My mother practically begged me, yet I was stunned and unyielding. When I could not be persuaded, my father said I should be left alone. That was how I stayed back and watched men go to and fro the war front. Sadly, one of our king's brothers was killed. I became a biblical David. Whenever my father went to town hall meetings to discuss the latest developments and war strategies, I would go with him. Some men would ask my father, "Who is this son?" The only weapon I had was a catapult. I wanted to go to the war front, but my father would not let me. Take this quote from me. "When catapult becomes the weapon of war, men are building character." Benson Adima. After that war, my self-confidence increased as I was respected among my peers. I had first-hand information about wars, and I came to appreciate what men do in times of war and how vulnerable women and children could be during wars. When stubbornness got me in deep waters. In 2007 to 2008, I was already in Lagos serving as a house help, somewhere close to where I currently reside. My curiosity got the best of me. I took the car key and drove one of the cars. I did this on 2 to 3 occasions, but one evil day I drove the Mercedes-Benz. I broke the side mirror. When it was discovered, no amount of pleading could save me. I was thrown out of the house by 2 a.m. at night. It was painful and regrettable, but I learnt my lessons. The story did not end there. I told my elder brother, "I don't want to be a houseboy again." Those words got him angry. He almost slapped me, but I was stubborn enough to stay by my decision. I was homeless, jobless, coberless, foodless, and helpless. Stubborn people get themselves into a lot of trouble, but they also get things done. When I failed to put my stubbornness to use, I lost the love of my life. I got entangled with this young pretty lady, prettier than all her age mates put together. But she happened to be my relative, so it is wrong for us to marry each other. We immediately became the talk of the town. My parents were against that relationship. The lady's supposed father was vehemently against the relationship, and my friends were against it. Several meetings were held to dissuade me from continuing in that love affair. But my lady, Maria, was deeply in love. Being the first love, the connection was extremely charming. My mother threatened to divorce my father because of me if I did not leave Maria alone. That was how I quit. Yes, I quit. But that decision led me into nervous breakdown. I went into semi-madness or mental agony. For 2 months I was going to school, but I was not learning. I put food in my mouth, but I never ate. I lost my first love because I was not stubborn enough. Many are poor today because they are not stubborn enough to hang on to their goals. I urge you, my friend, if you want your life to amount to anything significant, you must be stubborn enough to be ready to die pursuing what you believe than to live for naysayers. A few years ago, I was teaching at a school in Ikeja, Lagos, Nigeria. My salary was a token of $26 monthly. With that amount, I enrolled in computer training. I enrolled for Daystar Leadership Academy. I wrote JAM and borrowed money to pick a form for the University of Lagos. When I visited one of my elder brothers and told him everything I was doing, he looked at me and said, Why can't you finish one thing before you start another? Must you do everything at the same time when you know there is no money? His words fell on deaf ears because I had made up my mind, and I was not going to listen to him. A few years down the line, my stubbornness paid up. At the university, I was using my computer knowledge to do assignments faster than my colleagues. I was doing internet research very brilliantly. And when they took us to a compulsory computer class, it was easy to navigate. In my present secular job, my computer knowledge helps me a great deal. Imagine, as a graduate from the almighty Akoka, how it will look if I am given a computer to work with, and I do not know how to operate it. Listen to this. Of all the skills required for business and career progression and building wealth, personal development is the most important. I understand and benefited from personal development, which is why I center my crusade on the need for young people to develop themselves. If you are ever to succeed and be happy in your life, you must be ready to go against popular opinion in most cases. Because experienced people will tell you why a thing cannot be done, inexperienced people will fear for you, and antagonists will look forward to seeing you fail. You must have some guts to accept whatever the outcome may be. And whatever is the outcome, never ever blame yourself. Accept success as a stepping stone and welcome failure as a blessing in disguise. More recently, I displayed my resilience in another venture. I wanted to buy a car. One of the men I respected so much said, "If you borrow money to buy a car, how do you pay your rent, which you always borrow money to pay every year?" Another distant friend said, "If you buy a Honda Accord, the problems of the car will overwhelm you." He advised that I had better save the money in the bank and go gather more money to buy a Toyota product. After I bought the car, another person said, "Did you purposely go and buy Honda Accord V6? In fact, my elder brother, whom we went to buy the car together, was beginning to complain. "Oh, we could have waited and buy another car. This car is having a lot of things to fix, etc." I simply told him I will fix it. Once you make a decision, stick to it. Never blame yourself and do not complain. Always be on the lookout for the way forward. Because if you can think of the way forward, there will be a way forward. One of my lady friends already knows me for this. I always tell her, when you are in the middle of any problem, always ask yourself, what is the way forward? Never you say, why me? Always say, try me. From this paragraph, I learnt that if you want to succeed in life, you must be ready to start the way you are, where you are, and with what you have. It simply means you should be ready to start with God. You will not end anywhere. In summary, I was ready to start as a houseboy. And today I am living in a mini flat in the same community where I started as a housekeeper with an average good job. I borrowed money to get the form for university education, and today I am a proud graduate of one of the most coveted universities in Nigeria. I was willing to start writing my first book right on a staircase where I was living as a house at some point in my journey. Today, I am an author and one of the most coveted motivational speakers in Nigeria. I was slapped and thrown out of a house because I broke a car side mirror. Today I have bought my first car, and in a few years from now, I will boldly say I started with a Honda Accord V6, but here is my gallery. Someday, I will have my own private jet. I started by giving my life to Christ. Today I talk to God as a friend, and you are a friend, and I speak in tongues like no man's business, and I am one of the most admired teachers of his word. Finally, my story has layers and is unfolding. Though I started public speaking by telling other people's stories, today my story and personal life have become an inspirational compass to many young people across the globe. I dare to say to you today that if you do not give up on yourself, someday men will surely greet you with congratulations during your convocation or coronation. Yet, a little stubbornness in the face of a committed decision, coupled with relentless tenacity and unwavering sagacity, will make you an enviable personality. Remember, the only person you are fighting is yourself. If you continue in your stubbornness to engage in new endeavors, in the long run, the world will stand up for you. Till I come your way again, Benson Adima remains your in-house motivational speaker and author.